So these lives are just sort of random. No one really knows when they're going to start or when I'm going to have them. I myself should probably get a better hold of that, just so people know how to find me and talk to me. Also, when I do launch a video live, turned off. When I do launch a video live, I'm usually in the chat, so you guys can talk to me and ask me any questions you want and throw out some awesome ideas that you like having, for the channel itself. So this is a community that I'm trying to grow, and if you're a person that wants to be in a video with me, either on my channel or on yours, let me know. I'm happy and down to work with everyone. So the beauty of the Vectrex. Okay, this is a beautiful machine made by General Electronics Company. Came out in 1982, right before the video game crash that destroyed everything. So it's way far ahead of its time. It's a beautiful cabinet, has a little handle on the back, very lightweight, and you could carry it around great. You cannot, though, play it portably, and this is for kind of a big reason. The fact that it sucks up a lot of electricity. Even though it just has this very thin cord, a lot of electricity goes through it, to the point where this would probably suck up more electricity than your PlayStation 3 while playing this game. And the PlayStation 3 uses more electricity than a standard refrigerator. So keep that in mind. That's absolutely terrible. Vectrex here is a beast. It could hold enough juice being unplugged for a full year to kill an adult human man. So do not open them up. If something goes wrong, take them to a professional that knows what the heck they're doing. Also, it's known for having a loud buzzing noise that is just really terrible. So we're going to listen to that a little bit when I turn this bad boy on and show you some of the games. But also the fact that it has the loud buzzing noise. Oh my God. There are some no-buzz Vectrex out there, and they're awesome. I see a couple people are joining in to watch, so hi everyone that wanted to see the Vectrex and what I have collected for it. Fair warning, I am missing a couple of items from my collection here. There's only like 3 or 4 games that I'm not going to show you here, and one item that I really want to find, but it's essentially just a cardboard box that works as an adapter for the controller, but I'll discuss that more here in a little bit. So there are a lot of homebrew games. Matter of fact, there are so many more homebrew games for this system than there are games, official releases for the system. And I'm saying there's really good ones. I'm going to show you at least 2 here today that are phenomenal games that everyone should have for their Vectrex collection. So let's get into some of this fun stuff here. Also, you might notice that this is a black and white screen drawing these vector graphics. And what's interesting is that we have overlays that we can put on over top of the screen to play certain games. This is a pinball one. So I'm going to set my Vectrex down here for a second so I can show you all the overlays I have, or almost all the overlays I have. Well, the screen is almost pristine, and that is something else I wanted to discuss. Actually, probably should show that before I show you guys the screen. So I'm going to plug in this Vectrex. We're going to turn her on, and I'm going to show you the little thing about Vectrex themselves. This is something that is kind of crazy. So, first of all, where do you turn it on at, right? Because it's very sleek and beautiful, and there doesn't seem to be a single place to turn it on. There's a little dial on the back that determines the screen brightness, and I'll get into that. But where's the controller? Well, there's a little metal clip right here. Most ones you find used, the metal clip is probably broke off or glued back on with super glue. Mine is in perfect condition. It is not glued in any way. And then we have the controller that pops out of it. So just like my grandfather used to turn the volume all the way down in his flat big screen TV before he turned it off. And that was because he was so used to having dials that you had to turn in order to turn on the system. So, boom. I turned it on. Oh, it's not plugged in. Yeah, okay. Well, that's an epic fail on my behalf. Or is it? Boom. Is plugged in. You can hear the hum already, I'm sure. You'll see flicker on this. There is no flicker at all. That's just because the camera. And if I adjust that brightness in the back, I could go down, I can go up. But if I go all the way, it could potentially damage, and you'll start to see these little hairline scratches and cracks. So make sure you go down till that goes away. Also, if you want to get a good deal on one of these, what you do is you secretly turn it all the way up by turning it to the right, and then power it on when someone says, oh, it works beautiful. And then you'd be like, hey, the screen is messed up. Can I get a deal on this? And then turn it down later when you get home. That's super shady. Probably don't do that, but it is something you could do. So what game is this that we're looking at right now? This is one of those homebrew games that I was talking about, and this is Moon Patrol, or Vector Patrol. It would come in an oversized case like this, and you would have to shoot and jump over things. Beautiful looking game, and I personally love it. It also came with a couple of overlays, similar to the ones I'm showing you. Now, some third parties found out that you could actually take old VHS ones. This was probably one of the Disney thing. And they made certain cutouts to make it look like just their own product here. But essentially, this would have held a VHS tape back in the day. Let's see if I can turn this down. Is that buzzing too bad for you guys? Let me know in the comments if you can. I'll even turn it down a little bit. But this is just a demo of it running, and it is freaking awesome. It's exactly how you think Moon Patrol would be, and it plays perfect. There's some parallax scrolling there. There's music. And Akira, I always wanted one of these. They cost a fortune where I live. Manual fell out. Buzz isn't too noticeable. Thank you very much. Buzz is fine. Thank you. Not too loud. Good, good, good. Thanks a lot, everyone. So, yeah, these things can cost a fortune. And in my area of the world, they were actually sold by, like, door-to-door salesmen. So it's kind of crazy, and I'll go into that a little bit. So someone would knock on your door, just like they had a vacuum cleaner that they wanted to test out, and be like, hey, does your kids love video games? And they would be like, oh, yeah, absolutely. So they would say, are you upset for your kid hogging up the TV in your house? Well, if they had this, your kid wouldn't be hogging up that TV because it has its own screen. Major selling point. It's also why it did very well in Europe, not so much here in America, because most European homes only had one TV, single TV households. Even though many people in America were the same, they usually had two TVs. When I was growing up, one was often black and white, or a tiny, tiny 13-inch TV, not much bigger than this, and they're much bigger TV. So that was a big selling point. But then the guy would be like, oh, it's extra money to have, I'll just sell you this is my demo unit, I'll just sell you this for this price if they see that they don't have a lot of money. Or, but I don't have a box for this one, it's just a demo unit. And then they would be like, oh, you could pay a little bit extra if you want that box. Or you could pay a little bit extra if you want, I'll show you here, the overlay, because this actually has a built-in game inside of it. That is Mindstorm. So I ended up with a lot of these Mindstorm overlays, which are the rarest overlays. See, this is what it would be like looking at this. It just changes the color a little tiny bit. Due to the fact that the door-to-door salesman didn't sell every console they didn't want to pay the 10 extra bucks for the overlay. So, if we power this bad boy off, we can turn it on without the cartridge in the cartridge slot. Got Vector Patrol out. We could turn it back on. It'll boot to that game built in, which is another great feature of the Vectrex, having a built-in game. That beautiful GEC chime. Boom, boom. You see the mothership come down. Graphically, it could not handle all of the things on screen at one time. Look at that. Some almost sprite scaling. I say almost sprite scaling because everything's being drawn with vector graphics. So naturally, there isn't real sprite scaling going on. But this technically, I guess, or untechnically, would be the first game console with sprite scaling. Didn't happen again, I believe, until the Sega CD. So you could say that that's a thing. Also, the beautiful straight lines and the crispness means there's great graphics here going on. So we will then turn this off for now. We'll come back to some actual gameplay of a real-life Vectrex in one moment after I show you the screens. So Mindstorm, the game that comes with it, pretty nice. There's a pinball called Spinball, and notice it has the button layouts for button 1, 2, and 3, and 4 right here at the bottom. We will also go over the controller here in a second. This is one that I paid a hefty sum for. It's Spike. This one actually has voice sampling right in the game. And I really like the skyline up here. This is a beautiful game. And Spike is sort of the mascot of the console. In this protective case that they would have came in, which someone wrote in crayon, because these were definitely for kids, Web Wars. So it has a cool like little webby feature. Pretty neat stuff. I also have a decent version of Berserk. Obviously not the best version, but it is decent. It runs a little slow. Ooh, pretty expensive game. Star Castle. And many of you guys that know the Vectrex would probably know the arcade game of Star Castle. And this is a great port of it. Another Mindstorm overlay. Like I said, I had a lot of these. Cosmic Chase. Probably the most in-depth game for the system. Really freaking, there's a lot going on. Lots of levels, moving from area to area. And this overlay doesn't really do that much. But it is really cool to have it in red. Bedlam, I don't use the overlay for this because it draws designs on the screen, but the designs never really match up that well with whatever's going on here. Interesting idea, though. Star Trek, this is sort of like almost like a Star Wars style. They do change the colors a lot, and even sometimes don't add anything extra to what the Vectrex is doing, but they are kind of fun to have. Hyper Chase, this is a driving game, and because the Vectrex has an analog stick, this game is the only game that you need an official real-life Vectrex controller to play. Now, there are people that make third-party controllers, and that little box that I was missing is an adapter. Let's use your Sega Genesis controller on the Vectrex. And finally, I have Clean Sweep, Pac-Man style clone. So, let's go into that. So, if you had one of those boxes that lets you use a different controller, I recommend using the Genesis 6-button controller to play your Vectrex games. And on that box would be a switch that you could even change some of these buttons around. And also what's great about this is you could turn on those turbo buttons for games for turbo. However, if you play that Hyper Chase game with this, the second you hit that nudge a little bit, your car flies off the track and you die. And it's over. Terrible. But it also lets you use the driving controller. Has to be the driving one. There's another one that controls up and down, but this is left and right. So certain Space Invader games you could then play. This controller is kind of old and busted, but you can use some paddle controllers. And if you ever wonder why some of the paddle controllers for the Atari 2600 are so darn expensive, it's because Vectrex collectors snap them up in order to play with their Vectrex. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these games, and then I'll switch pace a little bit to some import GameCube games, and then we will show you some gameplay of the Vectrex itself. So, games often look like this. This is Star Trek, and it's very kind of boring almost to look at this because of what it's like. Okay, so that Spinball, Spike, which I set up for later because we want to see that in action. Web Wars, Clean Sweep, Hyper Chase. Sometimes they're upside down, sometimes they're upside right. I have noticed that. It's kind of weird. Armor Attack, Cosmic Chasm, Bedlam, Star Castle, kind of hard to come by, Berserk, and I had a box with a couple of other games, but I can't seem to find them. However, the homebrew community is still going strong with games like Galaxy War. If you don't want to buy all of your, wait a second, we'll go into that. Space Frenzy, which has some pretty cool stuff going on here too. Hop and Spike, neat little game. I've played it for maybe 10 seconds. Gravitex Plus. This is a game that has some voices, I believe. Oh, maybe not. One of these other games has some voices that if you had something that you can plug in, it'll synthesize voice not coming out of the speakers a little bit extra, or have music coming out and then voices out at the same time. V-Frogger, Protector, and Yaz for Not Another Space Invaders. Thrust is really quite good to pick up. This is a high score game. We might show this one off because it's a really quick play. I haven't been able to get very far in it at all, but holy crap, is this effing insane. You're just trying to stay alive as long as possible. Oh yeah, this is the game that would actually speak to you and have huge boss battles. I don't know if you can see some of these motherships that you could face off against. This is just a beautiful thing to actually play. One I haven't played yet, but I know exactly what it is. Big Blue. It's still sealed up in the package. It's sort of like you dive down, get treasure, and then try and surface your way up to the top. You've seen Vector Patrol, but also Vector Pilot. It was essentially Time Pilot. We do have an overlay here, which I never took out. And this is probably the very best Vectrex game, Vector Pilot. Unbelievably well made. So, we got those out of the way. We got an instruction manual from back in the day. 90-day warranty on it, no doubt. This is the model HP 3000, and it shows some fairly cool things throughout. Maybe I should make scans of this, or there probably already is. Has the dial, has the controller layout with the buttons, things like that. Oh yeah, one of the games that was missing from my collection that must be in a box somewhere is the football game, Blitz, where it's little X's and O's and they go against each other. Great two-player game, and so the overlay must be with it. Because it's great to play with the overlay because it has what the buttons do, because passing and throwing can be a little complicated, as complicated as you can get with 4 buttons, and it's good. Okay, so then we have another necessity, the multi-card. So this could have every single original release game along with a crap ton of homebrew games on it. If you have a Vectrex, definitely get the multi-card. And then you could see what you would want from some of these other games. So Vectrex multi-card, get it. Here's something that is kind of expensive and out of print, hard to find, but some people manage to get their use out of it. I have not. This is the Vectrex 32. This turns this system into a 32-bit system. And it has some extra processing power as well as a little plug there. So when you plug it in, you could hook it up to a computer and you could process some extra stuff on the Vectrex that you wouldn't normally be able to do. Some people even manage to get Doom to run on the Vectrex. Pretty incredible stuff. So the Vectrex 32, it's very technical. This is for only the super hardcore nerds to jump in and start playing with this. I'm sure that you could probably figure it out given enough time, but my time is very limited. So, and it's also very expensive, and I think they're out of print. So that's something. Some other accessories I recommend trying to find is a light pen that allows you to draw on the screen. There's a music maker game, there's an airplane game, and there's graphics, so you could like draw like a drawing game. There's also, trying to think, 3D goggles, so you could play this in 3D well before the Sega Master System did it. So the 3D game's pretty sweet. Let's switch gears away from the Vectrex before we get to actual gameplay, and let's look at some import GameCube games. Now, I want to make, I already made a top 10 import GameCube games, and to my knowledge, I made the first and possibly the only import GameCube game list on YouTube, and it's probably definitely the best, with the best game being Karoon Squash. Is a propeller-based game where a little duck fly in a helicopter and goes through a maze. It is clearly the best game, import game for the system. But one of my favorite fighting games is DreamX TV Fighters. You could play as Optimus Prime, kicking the butt out of Barbie. You could, I don't know if it's Simon Belmont. He turns into a wolf. Bomberman. There's some really cool stuff going on here. Takara is a Japanese toy company, and we probably never got this in the States because of licensing agreements. Nintendo Puzzle Collection. Great game. I did a full review of this because it also does a really cool thing with putting games onto your Game Boy Advance using the link cable. Lots of link cable capabilities. One of the best games is Mr. Driller, and that was great because it's Mr. Driller, and it's quite good. They actually remade this for the Switch recently, so you could actually play it now, and it's fully in English. One of my favorite 2D games for the GameCube, Adventure Island. Great 2D game, fairly cheap to find still. Good times. Another game is Bonk. So this has gotten to be very expensive, even though when it was released, it was only a $20 game. The level 3 boss is nearly impossible. So the idea is collect as many lives as you can going up to level 3. Use all your lives to kill that one freaking boss. And if you clear that level 3 boss, you could sail through the rest of the game, no problem. It is easy except for one game-breaking boss right in the middle of the game. But the game itself is fine, other than that one mistake that they made. Terrible. Star Soldier, great game. And I'm showing you guys these because I want to do another import games, probably my last import games list for the GameCube, because I've talked about like every import game. So, okay. And then we have Lode Runner, friend of the channel, Lode Runner. If you look at the list of people that I have like special links to, there's a guy that does Lode Runner games, and he's phenomenal. Okay, and the last game I wanted to talk about for the GameCube for import today, before I get to my other video that I'm recording, is Castle of Shimigami. And if you notice, this one actually has a really big box. Why does it have a big box? Well, that's what I want to show you. That's what's the interesting thing about the GameCube. And GameCube collectors should want to seek this bad boy out. So in here, oh my goodness, can I even get it open? Oh, we have the game, Castle of Shimigami 2. How do we get this bad boy out? Oh no. Risk of destroying the box to get the thing out. There it is. A little cat figurine with my GameCube game. Oh yeah, he's pristine, sealed up in there. So cool. Okay, that's something stupid. Hopefully my imports and love of the GameCube will translate into us finally hitting 10,000 subscribers on this channel, or maybe it's when I start my live stream of actually playing real video games. Hopefully that will be coming soon as well. So now, Yeah, thank you, French Toast. That figure is super cute, like he says. And it's awesome. It's I could have got a lot cheaper not having the figurine, but having that figurine. Whoa! I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so let's play a game. Vectrex games. Let's look at the controller real quick and then we'll try and play. So the controller is kind of cool. Because this is my second player controller. These things usually cost about $100 a piece, maybe even a little bit more. The Vectrex itself can cost $200 to $300. It has a true analog stick long before the Nintendo 64 or the Sega Saturn had one. Yet they get all of the credit for having an analog stick. Buttons 1, 2, 3, 4. When I hand this controller to kids today, they literally hold it like this, like they're holding a controller. But it's actually meant, because this is a home arcade system, you hold it down and you play the buttons. And some of the games actually have pause screens. So I'm going to readjust this right here, and we're going to play some games. Let's see about going into... Oh, let's see. That's another multi-card, 72-game multi-card. Yeah, both these multi-cards. Must-have for Vectrex collectors. Let's show off some Vector Pilot, shall we? Okay, a little bit of setting up here, and then we'll be on our way. Gotta pick up the manual that fell out. We'll turn this on, and let's see what we can do. Real life Vectrex coming through. This game has been detected to a Canadian fighter jet. Oh no. What will Canada do to us? If the volume gets too annoying, let me know. I could try to adjust it. But here we go. Let's start game. Look at those clouds. Check that out. So we can control by using the number pad or the controller. Yeah, a lot of times you want to fly at an angle because that's where the screen is. And you want to do this sort of thing. Now you want to pick up these guys and take out the formations of fighter jets. So many of these, you get an extra life. Extra lives are nice. I think I'm playing on normal right now. Oh no, I got hit. And you see that little bar at the top. What that little bar is sometimes then a boss would come once it's completely down. Got our extra life every so many thousands points, you get an extra life. And as you play through the game, you'll be getting a lot more extra lives. The first one's the easiest to get. Okay, so we have a boss battle coming in. So it says blimp, stay right on his tail fin, and shoot him down. He's smoking, he blew up, and ready to make the jump to hyperspace. Whoa! And then we're at the next level. 1940s. I had to adjust the camera there, I'm sorry. Eventually there'll be heat-seeking missiles and everything else, and this as you can see, is a very fun game. I managed to beat this game on its hardest level of difficulty. I have lots of good high scores. I wonder if it still saved them into the console. Let's kill me and find out. Let's see, because I haven't played this game for over a year now. So we're going to see if the high score is still saved on it. Game over. See, this is something you won't see on Twitch, guys. The Vectrex being played, that's just not going to happen. Not a real-life Vectrex, anyway. I wonder if I turn down the brightness in the room. Yeah, let's see. Okay, while we're here, we'll see if we can see that flaw when I turn up the, see, turn down the brightness, turn it up. We can see that crazy flaw going on. And that's what I was telling you guys about with the system itself. It's pretty gnarly. So let's turn that back down so we don't damage the screen anymore than it already is. And try and get it down to looking regular beautiful again. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, so we're not seeing any of those fun things. So let's switch over to another game. We'll do an original game for the system. This is Spike. Boy, trying to find the thing to turn it on in the dark. So you're going to notice some awesome voice sampling here. Oh, someone else does do live streams of the Vectrex. Freaking A. That's terrible. Look at that. Spike. So it's an action platformer. He runs back and forth. He can kick left and right and jump. And you could manipulate the ladder. You have to get the key and make it to the exit. Oh no, I missed it. Bam, did it. So, and then the bad guy steals your girlfriend again, and you just keep on doing it. Terrific game. Gets quite challenging. As you can see, there's enemies. Oh no, that guy just came out of nowhere. There's a little piece of candy that goes down. If you get it, you can do some fancy stuff. And I can keep playing. I can do this all day, guys. This is something that I really love. Yeah, the shuffling legs are extremely charming, and this is just a fun game. No matter what age you are, if you see this game, you're gonna love it. There's my key. Got the key. Got to get to that exit. Oh no. Boom! Did it. Ready for the next game, guys? Oh, heck yeah. So first we have to turn the volume all the way down and shut her off. We'll try Galaxy Wars. Grab some other games to try out here. Galaxy Wars. So there's two different games here, sort of built in one. Level 1, you go up and you try to just, no, that's not it. We're trying to fly past these guys. We're trying to fly past. Or are we trying to run into these? Okay, we're not trying to run into them. I forget what we're supposed to do. Okay, Space Race is a game. It's set up for two player. Oh, and you try not to run into the stars. Okay, so I'll try and play both players at the same time. And you're just trying to get to the top of the screen. There's a counter going. Oh. Shit, boy, trying to play this at the same time as... Oh, no. Tough. But you can see it's a pretty cool game. Okay, Molly, oh no. So let's hit reset. Let's see if we can get into a real game. That was Space Launcher. This is Galaxy Wars. Space Race, we don't want to do that. No, I said we don't want to do that. This is what you do when you have no prep to your... Oh, so we want to run into these guys, but not get shot out of the sky. Fireballs don't kill you, so you're launching the missiles, the guided missiles, taking out the UFOs. Boom! Level 2 now. Great music, huh? So this... Oh! So I screwed it up. We're trying to blast through. Turn around. And blast our way back through. Pretty cool stuff. So you can see where this gets really addictive. Yeah, every little thing about this game is just so much fun. The controls are spot on, and it's fun to play. Whoa. Now, I believe later it'll give you like little certain UFOs will be brighter, and you have to take them out in order. Yeah, it took me a little while to remember that. Okay, so the little dots above are how many points it is. So we want the most points possible. And then return home, full time limit at the bottom of the screen. Great game from start to finish. So yeah, that one's a little bit brighter. Now this one's a little bit brighter. But it's just a little tiny bit. I'm not even sure if the camera could even pick it up. But you have to kill them in the right order in order to get the most possible points. Adds a little bit of a challenge to the game. And we did it. So we're killing them fast. Nice. Nice to play. Okay. Let's go into another game. Debrius Revisited. This is the game that would have voice sampling, but I don't have what's called the Vectrex. I really should get around to getting it. Hopefully, you know, I have a birthday coming up. Maybe I'll get it. This has huge boss battles that you could fight against. That even a pretty cool opening graphic for, you know, whoever made the game. Great music. And it's a spaceship shooter. Kind of what you think, but they're not made with vectors. These almost look like sprites. Let's turn the volume down though. So it doesn't have the explosions or anything, but what would have, if you had the Vectrex, the explosion sound effects would come from instead of the music playing. Now I think you can change that in the options, so it can be explosions with no music or music with no explosions. Apparently I thought the sound effects were annoying, so I went the other direction. Look at those big asteroids coming down. So let's hopefully get to the first boss of the game. Kind of amazing to see the Vectrex even doing this. Oh, I died. 4 lives left. We gotta get to that boss. So there's a little path up here at the top. That's showing how close we are to that boss. We wanna kill the first boss before we move on to the next game. Now, yes, these are very simple games, but this is what you want. This is you want nice simple arcade games here. We're getting closer. Music is quite good. I could go up or down. This is obviously a homebrew game. There's no way someone was doing this back in 1982. People's minds would have been melting. Can't do it. Can't do it. Too good. Now, I'm not super good at talking while I'm playing, as you guys see. So when I start playing Atari Jaguar games, streaming live, I have no idea how it's going to come out, other than just talking about the game itself that's in front of me. Maybe we'll switch up more than one game at a time. Okay, we're almost there. Big boss is coming up. And it would say something like, boss approaching, and it would do it in that fun robot voice that Stephen Hawking has. and you would have this big showdown with the mothership, which should show up any second now. You gotta be in close. Okay, there it is. Mothership. Let's take it out. And as we shoot it apart, it actually degrades. It starts wearing away. So we're hitting the crap out of it. Boom, boom, boom. Cleared. We go on to the next level. It's that cool. Okay. Let's check out this other game, Vectrex. And what's cool, I'm definitely saying these names wrong because a lot of these are German. Germany seems to have all the people that are still doing this type of thing, making homebrews. And I don't know if there's been much on the homebrew scene since when I kind of stopped collecting for the Vectrex. Because these games come out so rarely. I do remember the music for this was off the hook. So let's just start. So we are just that arrow, and we're trying to stay alive as long as possible. This is the whole game, guys. The whole game is this. Makes me freaking dizzy. Oh yeah, it starts pulsing. Thank goodness for the pulsing, right? If you have a headache while playing this game... Oh. Oh, and that's it. That was it. And it keeps track. So 30 seconds, we'll say, is a good score. We'll do it again real quick. Oh my God. The pulsing. "32 seconds. Think you guys could beat me in this? I don't know. Yes. Oh my God. It is so trippy. It's not even funny. But I don't think I spent too much money on this. Probably like 30, 40 bucks. So definitely worth every penny I played for it. Let's see if we can plug in one of those multi-cards and see how that is. Multi-card. Starting up now. Now, because those other games were so small, the original games, the multi-card would have many, many games on it, including all of the original games, as well as some little tiny things. So we have original games: Armor Attack, Bedlam, Berserk. Blitz is that football game I really love. Clean Sweep. Fortress and Not... Oh, that game I have too. So that's somewhere. That's a real expensive one now. Heads Up Soccer I think I have because it was super cheap. It's like $20. Hyper Chase, Polar Rescue. Let's actually look at Hyper Chase. This is every official game right there. Web Wars, Star Trek, Star Hawk, Star Castle, Spinball, Spike. Space Wars, the only home port of that game, I think still. Scramble, Ripoff, Pole Position. Pole Position's actually quite good, but not as good as it could have been. Hyper Chase. Let's take a look at it. When you guys see these graphics, it's quite impressive. So here you have to shift gears up and down. And it's all about getting to the finish line. Ridiculously difficult game. If anyone has ever played this, they would know that what I'm doing right now is not easy. Because that happens a lot. You have to go all the way back down to the first gear and start accelerating all over again. And you have to be very easy on that controller. Now, essentially, you're just trying to get to the finish line. So it doesn't matter how many times you die in order to get to the finish line. That's just the goal. But there's more than one way to play this game. So the other way is there's a set amount of time, and when that time is... No, a set amount of lives. And when those lives are over, the game is over. Or you can see the whole game by doing this. This will be the whole game. And then you would write down your time in a high score book and see if you could beat that time later. Anyone who's ever played this game should be able to tell you how hard this game is, and what I'm doing right now is really, really good. I think we're almost at the finish line already, too. Oh, see? This is what most people look at when they play this game. They just die non-stop. If you try to emulate this too, you were just going to die non-stop because of that analog stick. Sometimes emulators don't take into account that when they program the emulator in. So most people can't even play this game at all. And this is silky smooth on my screen. That's it. That was the entire game. The entire game right there. And that's a pretty good time. I think I had it into the 120s before, but that is the entire game. So, quite difficult game there. If we hit the reset button, I wonder if it, yeah, it just puts us back at the main menu of Hyper Chase. So let's go back in and let's see if we can find a hidden gem, because my channel is all about the hidden gems. I think it's on this card. It was an unfinished game that I wish would have fully came out. And when you see it, it is going to be amazing. You have the 3D games, light pen games, original games, unreleased. Nope. Homebrew. Maybe it's on the other one. Homebrew demos. Beth. Kingpin. Spike Goes Skiing beta. Oh. Well, there's like a Splatterhouse-like game that I want to show you. I don't know if this is it. Probably not. No, I don't know what this is. No volume. Okay, so that was crazy. Let's look at that last game. Last multi-card game. See if it's on that. And hopefully we can do this. Again, if anyone wants to work with me on a video, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'll send you my email address and we can work something out. So, pretty cool stuff. GEC, original games, unreleased games, modern games. Demos. There it is, Untopped. So this is a game I hope someone then finishes and comes out. But this would be my dream Vectrex game. So let's jump in and play it. Let's see if you guys can see what I'm seeing. I just want to continue. Untaught. We have a church that we go into. Pretty cool. And you have like an axe. And little blood splatters out from these people. Oh, little crawly zombies. Gotta kill that guy. So a little bit like Kung Fu. We have a knife thrower there. Bash his skull in. Creepy music. Now there's no other button press other than the attack. And I think, yeah, we want to go to the left. I think if you go to the right, you don't actually fight anyone. But I would love to see maybe a jump button added, and this being a full release game. Killing zombies, smashing their heads, having little blood splatter out, boss battles. This could be great for the Vectrex. Let's see if we get to the end. Go to the door. And what do we have on the other side? You will die. And then some type of boss. Hands crunching down. Go in for the strike. don't get squashed by the thing. Oh, got me. I am dead. Oh, my head is off and blood is splattering up. Oh my god. So this is your hidden gem game for the system. It's just this one level. You just clear it. But I wish they would fully make the game itself. So freaking awesome. Okay. We'll do this for a brief period, just so you can see how another good homebrew game is. This was the last game I received. It was kind of recently, before the pandemic finished. And we already saw a little bit at the beginning of the video, but let's start the game. And essentially it's Moon Patrol, but it's called Vector Patrol. Just 2 buttons. We do have a pause button, so you can take a pee break if you need to. Oh. And doesn't that always happen? You meant to shoot and you hit the jump button. So there is music and sound effects going on, but it does a good job of disguising it so you don't notice that they're not happening at the exact same time. The music's in the background, there's some parallax scrolling here, there's some bright obstacles, stars in the background, and once you clear the first level, there are multiple backgrounds too. So we're gonna start to see that. These first couple levels are by far the easiest. These guys can make craters, I believe. And then we cleared the first level of the game. You want to make your way all the way to Z, of course. Checkpoint E. Decent time. And then we have a whole new setting. With an explosion. But that is the Vectrex and Vector Patrol. Let's crank this screen up loud and proud. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this live stream, showing off the what the Vectrex can do, what the games look like for it, and just that it is one of the best looking systems of its time. Even though not many people got to enjoy it and to respect it as much as it needs to be respected, it's a beautiful piece of history and a beautiful piece of art. I know it's got kind of boring there. Not many people wanted to stick around to the end, but Vectrex GameCube imports. I'm working on an import video now. Then it's the April Fool's Day video, and then I might take on some user-suggested ideas that you guys told me about. Again, if you want to do a video with me, let me know and send me a message either on my channel itself. I'll send you my email, or maybe later I'll add it, whatnot. But I hopefully you guys enjoyed this look at the Vectrex and all the things. Go back, watch through on fast forward and stuff. I know I didn't get a chance to talk to that many of you today, but in the future, hope to get to know a lot more of you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's a beautiful day to sit around the house and play some Vectrex. Yes, very good stuff. Thank you very much, my friend. And I don't do these videos to show off. I do them to just bring to light what's really cool. I mostly just hate these videos that people just do to show off. So, see you later. Okay, good night, everyone. Have a great time. And hopefully I inspired you to start collecting for the Vectrex, because it is the best console of its time. But of course, that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching. If I can stop this.